I own my space. I own my decisions. I own the fact that I was in complete denial and saw things right in front of me, but just like I was protecting myself, I was protecting my kids. I have this family, right? I didn't want to be a failure. To me, losing my marriage was failing.
Not everything that glitters is gold, and Shaunie O'Neal just gave us a front row seat to the fallout of her so-called fairy tale romance with Pastor Keion Henderson. At first, their love story seemed like a dream. Shaunie found what seemed like true love with a charismatic pastor. Keion appeared to be the perfect match for her strength and independence. Together, they looked like a power couple, faith-driven, successful, and deeply in love. But here's the thing, social media only shows the highlights. Behind those well-curated Instagram posts, the reality was far more complicated. Whispers of trouble in paradise started surfacing long before the divorce was officially announced, and then came the bombshell. After just 2 years of marriage, Shaunie filed for divorce. This wasn't just a quiet separation. The timing, the circumstances, and the allegations swirling around Keion raised serious questions. Was this really just a case of irreconcilable differences? Or was there a much bigger reason why Shaunie chose to walk away?
When people say a million times, they don't literally mean a million times. Just throwing that out there. But you did call me a few.
From luxurious vacations to romantic anniversary posts, their love story played out like a modern fairy tale. Their wedding was a grand affair, set in Anguilla, featuring stunning scenery and an all-star guest list. Keion constantly praised Shaunie in public, and she in turn appeared deeply devoted to him. But was it all just smoke and mirrors? Because behind the scenes, the cracks were already beginning to show. As much as their love story seemed picture perfect, certain things didn't quite add up. Insiders claimed that Shaunie, despite being supportive of Keion's ministry, was hesitant about fully immersing herself in his world. She had spent years carving out her own path in business and entertainment. Was she really ready to step into the role of a pastor's wife? And while they both publicly showed love and respect for each other, people started noticing a shift, subtle changes in their dynamic, moments that suggested not everything was as harmonious as it seemed. At first, the signs were easy to miss, small things that, on their own, didn't seem like much, but when you put them all together, they painted a different picture. For starters, Shaunie began distancing herself from Keion's church. In the beginning, she had shown up in full support, standing by his side as he led his congregation. But as time passed, fans noticed she wasn't as present. She stopped reposting his sermons, she was missing from major church events, and she started spending more time focusing on her own projects. Was this just Shaunie prioritizing her business, or was there something deeper going on? Then there was the shift in their social media presence. Once a couple who constantly celebrated their love online, they started appearing together less frequently. The heartfelt posts became fewer, the public declarations of love quieter, and when Shaunie did post, it was more about her own ventures, her family, her business, her personal achievements, rather than her marriage. And then came the financial red flags. Keion had always been known for his energetic sermons and motivational messages, but his ministry started gaining attention for something else: its money moves. In August 2024, Keion announced a fundraising goal that raised a lot of eyebrows. He asked church members to donate $2,100 each toward a massive $4 million goal. For some, this was just another standard church fundraiser, but for others, it was a wake-up call. People started questioning where all this money was really going. While some defended him, claiming the funds were meant for church expansion, others weren't so sure. One church member said, "I've given to this church for years, and now I'm being asked to donate more than some people make in a month? It doesn't feel right." And Shaunie, she wasn't blind to what was happening. Was this the moment that made her take a step back? Was she starting to realize that her husband's financial dealings weren't sitting right with her? Because not long after, people started noticing that she wasn't just distancing herself from the church, she was distancing herself from Keion. And this was only the beginning.
I think it was part of me not wanting to be hurt again, not go through a relationship that might not work, and just being that person that did come out of a marriage and divorce and it wasn't pretty. I was like, I never want to even put myself in a situation where that could possibly happen again. So I will say in my dating experience that I wasn't ever in a relationship that I looked to be a marriage, because in my mind I was never getting married again. So I probably sabotaged myself, as far as who I was picking and the time and energy I was giving, because I already knew, like, I'm not going to marry you. I'm not going to be with you like that. So maybe I had boundaries already up.
August 2024, Keion made headlines for all the wrong reasons. It all started when he stood in front of his congregation and asked them for a staggering $2,100 donation per person, all in an effort to reach a $4 million fundraising goal. Now, church fundraisers aren't exactly uncommon, but this wasn't a simple request for tithes or offerings. This was a massive ask, and not everyone was buying into it. For some, it was just another example of how modern megachurches operate. Pastors leading large congregations often push for financial contributions under the promise of future blessings. But for others, this particular request raised red flags. Where was all this money actually going? Keion claimed that the funds were meant for church expansion, community projects, and outreach programs. But there were whispers that things weren't adding up. Some members felt pressured to give even when they couldn't afford it, and others started questioning why a church that already pulled in millions in donations needed such an aggressive push for even more money. And then, just when the scrutiny was reaching its peak, an old sermon from Keion resurfaced, one that didn't sit right with a lot of people. Blessings don't come from giving to the poor, they come from giving to the church. Wait, what? The backlash was instant. Many people, both inside and outside the church, felt that the message completely went against the core principles of faith and charity. Giving to the poor has always been seen as an act of compassion, yet here was Keion suggesting that financial blessings were tied directly to how much people gave to his church.
It took us a long time to get there. Don't get me wrong. It was not an easy journey, but once we got there, and I think we felt comfortable being honest with each other and just sharing what was going on in our lives and our personal lives to a certain extent, because I think, a lot of it is it's none of our business. It's none of my business what he does, same with him, and I think we both respect that. But if we get in relationships that we're going to go to that next level, we definitely will let each other know and support it in the best way we can.
For Shaunie, this wasn't just another controversy, it was a full-blown crisis. She had spent years crafting her image as a sharp businesswoman, someone who made smart moves and avoided scandal. She wasn't about to let her husband's financial dealings drag her name down too. While she had initially supported Keion's ministry, this situation was different. Was this the moment she realized she needed to protect herself? Because not long after this controversy exploded, Shaunie started making some strategic moves of her own. She stopped showing up to Keion's church events, distanced herself from his sermons, and noticeably shifted her focus back to her own business ventures. But if the money controversy wasn't bad enough, there was still another storm brewing, one that would completely shatter their marriage. For Shaunie, the final straw wasn't just about money. Behind closed doors, whispers about Keion's alleged double life started making their way through social circles. At first, they were just rumors, people speculating about late-night meetings, unexplained absences, and questionable behavior. But as more details emerged, it became clear that something was seriously off. Was there another woman or multiple women? Several sources started coming forward with claims that Keion wasn't as faithful as he portrayed himself to be. There were reports of secret conversations, private rendezvous, and interactions that didn't quite align with the image of a devoted husband and pastor. And then, the biggest bombshell yet, an alleged leaked recording surfaced, hinting at a betrayal that went deeper than just financial scandals. In the recording, Shaunie could reportedly be heard venting about a situation that had broken her trust beyond repair. While the details of the conversation weren't entirely clear, one thing stood out. She felt deceived. When trust is broken, everything falls apart. That was the cryptic message Shaunie posted on Instagram right around the time these rumors hit their peak. She didn't name names, didn't call anyone out directly, but to those who had been paying attention, it wasn't hard to connect the dots. Was this her way of finally admitting that Keion wasn't the man she thought he was? Because if all of these allegations were true, then walking away wasn't just an option, it was a necessity.
I think it was part of me not wanting to be hurt again, not go through a relationship that might not work, and just being that person that did come out of a marriage and divorced and it wasn't pretty, I was like, I never want to even put myself in a situation where that could possibly happen again.
Shaunie O'Neal is no stranger to heartbreak, but this time she's handling things differently. After years of being in the public eye, first as Shaquille O'Neal's ex-wife, then as a reality TV mogul, she's learned the importance of moving strategically. And if you ask insiders, they'll tell you she didn't just wake up one day and decide to leave Keion. This exit was calculated. Reports suggest that Shaunie had been laying the groundwork for her departure months before the news became public. While social media still showed a happy couple behind the scenes, she was making quiet but decisive moves. She had already pulled back from Keion's church activities, started refocusing on her business ventures, and most importantly, made sure that when she walked away, she did so on her own terms. Now, as the dust settles, Shaunie isn't looking back. She's distancing herself from the drama and putting all her energy into her empire. With her production company, multiple business ventures, and continued influence in the entertainment world, she's proving once again that she doesn't need a man to thrive. Meanwhile, Keion's reputation is taking hit after hit. His ministry, once seen as a powerhouse, is now under intense scrutiny. Longtime church members are questioning his leadership, and financial experts are digging deeper into the money controversy that shook his congregation. What was once blind faith is now skepticism, and it's clear that this scandal isn't going away anytime soon. And let's not forget, this isn't just about money. The betrayal allegations, the whispers about his personal life, and the mounting pressure from the public have all created the perfect storm. Keion is now in damage control mode. But is it already too late? Because while he's trying to salvage his image, Shaunie is out here thriving. She's not just surviving, she's winning. But is this truly the end of the story? Or is there still more to be uncovered? So now we have to ask, was Shaunie's exit just about money, or was she protecting herself from something even bigger? Did she see the warning signs before the rest of us did, or was this a case of a picture-perfect love story crumbling under the weight of reality? And most importantly, do you think Shaunie made the right move by leaving? Drop your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to hit that subscribe button because trust me, this story is far from over.